In today's episode, I wanted to share with you some fun holiday-themed knitting patterns. There are some newly released patterns, some new to me patterns, and some patterns I've had my eye on for a while but haven't gotten around to knitting yet. So stick around and I will let you know what I love about these patterns, why I want to knit them, and what yarns I'd like to knit them in. Welcome back to Knitting by the Bay. My name is Christy, and this is my making podcast where I talk mostly about knitting, but sometimes some other fun crafts that I'm into at the moment. Today's episode will be a holiday patterns roundup video. I've included some accessories, some sweaters, and even some patterns for your home. I would also like to update you on my own holiday sweater that I've been knitting on right now and show you some of that progress. So grab yourself something cozy to drink, maybe your current knitting project, and let's get started. I wanted to share with you guys the sweater that I'm wearing, which I did not knit, but I think that this guy is absolutely adorable with his cute little red scarf. I purchased this sweater a couple of years ago from Winners, and I always like to wear it in the wintertime. But let's get into our knitting patterns. So the first category on my list is accessories, and the first item that I have here is called the Forest Path socks, and these are socks by Jessica McDonald. These are a fingering weight sock, and they're knit on US 1 or 2.25 millimeter needles. I would like to knit these using Knit Picks palette in the colors Finley Heather and Forest Heather. I think that would look really good. This pattern comes in 4 sizes, and the size is changed by adding or decreasing stitches in between the cute little tree and the branch star. I really like the simple color work that is only on the cuff of the socks, and I think that would be really fun. You get that little bit of color work, and then the rest of the sock is pretty basic. And this leg, the leg of this sock is the perfect length that it shows above your, like if you're wearing ankle height boots, then the little motif of the tree and everything would show above your boots. It's knit cuff down with a heel flap and gusset. My second accessory on my list is another pair of socks, and these ones, I don't know how to pronounce this, and I'll put it on the screen. And these are by Anina Judy. These are also a fingering weight sock knit on US 2 or 2.75 millimeter needles. I would love to knit these in Drops Nord using the suggested colors. I think that these socks are absolutely adorable. What I love about them the most is the cute little pom-poms that are on the little gnomes hats. And those are made by doing a bobble in the row above, like before starting on your color work. I also love the lice stitch pattern on the remainder of the sock. I think that would be easy to do, but still interesting. These socks are also knit cuff down with a heel flap and gusset. And my third accessory on the list is called Eastwas, I think, by Kate Davies. This is a beautiful hat that's knit in a DK weight yarn on US 4 or 3.5 millimeter needles. I would love to knit one using the Fiber Company Lore in the color Calm. I think that would look so beautiful. This is a super cozy looking slouchy style hat, and it's knit in the round from the bottom up using slip stitches to create this lovely texture on it. I like that it looks sort of like a star or also kind of like a snowflake, but it's not super Christmassy looking. I think it's not overly Christmassy, but it does look very special for the holidays. All right, so that's it for my accessories. Now I wanted to share with you some of the sweaters on my list. The first one is called, it's a really cute one by Skein Knits, and it's the Festive Yoke Pullover. This sweater is knit using a sport weight yarn. There are a lot of different needle sizes listed in this pattern, so I'm not really sure which one you're supposed to use, but I guess You're just supposed to be able to get the right gauge on whatever size needles. If I were to knit this, I would like to try the suggested yarn, which is Rama Fenul in the classic red and white colors from the pattern. And I think, yeah, I would like to make mine as Christmassy looking as possible. So this pattern is super cute because you can select your own motifs that you want. The pattern comes with 20 different color work charts. You can design your sweater to be as kitschy as you want or as elegant as you would like. It includes deers, hearts, presents, bells, snowflakes, and more. I think it is absolutely adorable, and you can make yours unique to you and using whichever motifs that you like. It's worked top down seamlessly in the round, and this sweater is actually available as well as a cardigan. So you can purchase the cardigan pattern or the pullover pattern. And so my next pattern, sweater pattern, is called Santa Baby. And this one is by Hannah Rimmon. And the suggested yarns for this lovely sweater are Filcolona Tilia, Pernilla, and Alva. So 3 different yarns. I would probably knit this one using an off-white with forest green trees, pretty much the same as what's in the pattern there. This is also a free pattern, which is available on the Filcolona website. The problem with this sweater, though, is it's not very size inclusive. I think there's only 5 sizes available, so that's not great. But if you would like to do, if you like the color work chart, and I'm really sorry, but that's my dishwasher that's just ending right now, so that's why you probably heard that beeping. But anyway, yeah, if you like the color work on this sweater, you could probably take the chart of the color work, and since it's free, you don't have to pay for it. You take the chart and you could probably insert it into a different circular yoke sweater that you already have, if you're okay with doing a little bit of math. And what I like about this one is it's very simple color work pattern with just the trees. I like that it's not like overly Christmassy or anything, but it looks like a very simple, classy sort of color work sweater. My next sweater on the list is the Snow Wonder by Heidi Kiermaier. This beautiful winter textured sweater is knit using worsted weight yarn, and it didn't put down what needle sizes, but I can look here. So it's knit on a US 7 or a 4.5 millimeter needle. And let me just get back there. This is a great pattern for those of you who aren't interested in doing color work, but you want something special for the holidays, because it's just got this very beautiful textured snowflake pattern on it. It's very size inclusive. It's available in sizes from extra small to 6XL, or a 33.25 inch bust to 72-inch bust. So that is great. The Bobble Snowflake pattern is both written and charted, so whichever works best for you. It's got both options there. And she says that you can substitute, like she will give the instructions to do the baubles, but of course you can substitute a different method for making baubles if you wanted. There is also a children's size pattern available, which I think is really cute if you wanted to make one to match with your mini-me. If I were to knit this one, I would probably knit it in an off-white beigey sort of color. I think that would look really nice. And my next one is called the Snow Sweater, and this is by Pernille Larsen of Knitting for Olive. And this beautiful colorwork sweater is knit using Knitting for Olive merino held together with soft silk mohair. This is a beautiful winter-themed but understated sweater with colorwork just on the sleeves, which I think is really, really nice. You begin by knitting a double folded ribbed neckline, and then you shape the back with German short rows. And yeah, you only have to do the color work on the sleeves. It gives a very interesting detail to a sweater. I haven't seen a lot of color work sweaters where it's only on the sleeves, and I think that's really interesting. All right, so that's it for my sweater section. And the next section, I wanted to share with you some patterns that are for your home. So the first one is called the Cozy Winter Sweater Wreath, and this is by Danielle Widener. This is a beautiful cable sweater inspired winter wreath, and this one is also available for free, so that's awesome. You knit this one using a bulky weight yarn on size US 11 and 13, or 8 and 9 millimeter needles. The pattern is knit flat, and then you sew it together around an 18-inch styrofoam wreath. She also says that if you don't have a wreath, you can stuff it with polyfill too, or whatever scraps that you have available. I thought that that was really a beautiful pattern. You get to do a little bit of cable work there, but it's not a ton. It's not a whole sweater, but it gives you the vibe of a cable sweater. And I think that that would look really beautiful hanging up on your wall in your house. My next pattern for your home is actually a crochet pattern, but I wanted to sneak this one in here because I thought it was really pretty. And this is the Silent Night Christmas Tree Skirt, and it's by Brenda KB Anderson. And yeah, this is a crochet pattern, but if you're interested in trying out crochet, I thought that I would slip this one in here, and I think it would be a really fun pattern to do. It's also another free pattern, and it's crocheted using a worsted weight yarn on a 5.5 millimeter hook. I really like the textured trees on it. I think that they would be a lot of fun to do. And this Christmas tree skirt, depending on your decor, your color scheme in your house, and what color you chose for your yarn, it's quite basic. So I think that it would match with any sort of home decor. I also love how it joins together in the round with buttons. I think that that's such a special detail. This tree skirt is worked in turned rows from the center out, and then puff stitches are sprinkled throughout a background of simple single crochet stitches. And the cabled pine tree stitch pattern is, she says, it's simpler than it looks and makes for a fun ending to a large project. So I think that that would look really nice if you are somebody who celebrates Christmas with a Christmas tree. Then yeah, I think that that would be very nice to put around it. And my last project, holiday themed project, is called the Tiny Sweater Ornament. And this is by Maryam Amdalawi. I'm sorry, I'm saying that wrong. I know that I am. So I will put all of that information down below, and just to remind you that everything will be linked down below, and I will have a special bundle on my Ravelry with all of these holiday patterns. So yeah, this is a super cute mini sweater, and it's a perfect project if you wanted to use up some of your scrap yarns, because you can make this in any weight of yarn on any size needles. Really, it will just change the size of the sweater, but it doesn't have to fit anybody, so it doesn't matter. And yeah, but the recommended yarn is a worsted weight yarn knit on a US 6 or 4 millimeter needle. You knit the sweater top down in the round, and then you do some raglan increases, you separate for sleeves, then you will later on go on and you knit the rest of the body, and then you pick up stitches for the sleeves and knit the sleeves. Does that sound familiar? Because it's exactly like knitting like a full-size raglan sleeve sweater, but you're just doing it in miniature. So it's very quick. I think it wouldn't take very long to make this cute little sweater. You also do some twisted ribbing for the collar, the hem, and the cuffs, but you could do, whatever you want to. If you wanted to do ribbing or no ribbing, that's up to you. I would actually like to make one of these for each member of my family. I think that would be really cute, as well as for my dogs too. I think that these little mini sweater ornaments are adorable, and so I grabbed some of this yarn from my stash, and I don't know what this yarn is. I don't know the name of it, but it's a off-white, tweedy sort of yarn, and I know that it's a worsted weight. And then I also have some of this Lion Brand Wool Ease in the Forest Heather. So I thought I would cast one of these on and make an ornament for my son. So here's my finished sweater ornament, and this one I made for my son. His name starts with the letter A, and the pattern comes with a chart with the alphabet. So yeah, you could do color work if you wanted to, but it's much easier just to duplicate stitch on top. So that's what I did here for his. And then I was taking pictures of this for my Instagram, and I wanted to make this little like prop for it, which is like a little sewing basket, little miniature, not sewing basket, knitting basket with some yarn and some scissors, because I thought that that was just really cute. And why not? I love miniatures so much. So all right, so now I wanted to update you guys on my holiday sweater that I've been working on. And this is called the Fallow, or just Fallow. And it is by Anne Michelle Phelan. And this is what I've got done so far. Sorry, I'm all tangled up. So I finished the color work part, and then I decided I wanted to pick up the stitches and pick up the sleeves and start working on the sleeves. So that's what I've got done so far. And this has been a ton of fun. I've really enjoyed this. I'm using Durarum Natura Ulysses in the color Cedar for the green, and then the pink, it's a very pale pink, is called Quartz. And then I'm holding that together just for the color work with Knitting for Olive Soft Silk Mohair in the color Ballerina, just to give the deers sort of a little fuzzy look to them. I thought that would be really cute. So this pattern is knit on using a sport weight yarn on US 5 or 3.75 millimeter needles. But I did my gauge swatch for this and mine came up too big. So I decided just to size down my needles. And so I'm using a US 4 or a 3.5 millimeter needle to do mine. And it seems to be working out great. I think that this pattern is really easy to understand, but the color work is a lot of fun and it's very engaging, but still simple at the same time. I decided to do my neckline like my autumn alpine sweater that I made. So this pattern, the Fallow sweater, has a mock neck on it. And I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to have a crew neck. So I just used the same stitch count as my autumn alpine because it's knit in the same wool. So another thing with it is the color work is there's a lot of space in between here, so you've got to carry your float a long distance across here. And I did see a lot of people who had just caught their float like the normal way, where the stitch was poking through and you could see the contrasting color come like poking through there. And I didn't want to do that. And I also thought that I would like to learn how to do another technique. So I learned how to do ladder back jacquard. So how ladder back jacquard works is on your first round, when you're wanting to catch your float, so I would normally do it every 4 stitches about. And so when you come to that spot, you will take your color here from the color work chart and you will make a backwards loop onto your needle. And then you will continue knitting with the background color. And then you do it again when you come to that space where you need to catch your float again. You'll do a backwards loop. Then when you go around on the next round, you will, when you come to that backwards loop that you made, you will take your background color, like for me it was the green, and you hold it to the front. That's very important. You have to bring it to the front. And then you will knit the backwards loop just like normal with the other color, which was my pink or my quartz. And you'll knit that. And then you bring your green or background color to the back again and continue knitting. And so what that is doing is it's creating like a ladder on the back of your work. And all of those stitches that are being knit from the backwards loop are actually not attached to your sweater. So it's creating another layer on top of it, which is separate from the rest of it. So I'm not sure if I can find a spot here where I have it. So yeah, I'll show you, like, this is just a spot of the ladder back jacquard. My finger can go right under, and it's like a net that's made on top of the fabric there. And the stitches are caught in this sort of ladder that goes down there. So yeah, that was really interesting. I enjoyed that. I thought that technique was going to be a lot harder than it actually was. It's not hard at all. It's very easy to do. And yeah, I can see myself using that again when there's a lot of space in between the motifs. Definitely would use that again. And I will link below the video that I used to teach me how to do that. If you're interested and you don't know yet how to do that, then you can check that out. And I am knitting this one in a size 4, which I normally do a size 3, but I wanted something a little bit more oversized. I wanted to try doing that. So I'm going to see how it turns out after it's blocked. It is bigger, and it is, I'm probably hitting my microphone, sorry. It is bigger and it kind of bunches up at the back, but I'm hoping that after blocking and everything that'll sort all of that out. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say about my fallow sweater. I'm really enjoying that. I can't wait to have that ready. I'm hoping to get it done. You know, I was hoping to have it done for early November. I don't know. It might take me a little bit longer than that. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's lots of fun. Well, that's all I have to share with you today. I hope you were able to find some inspiration here. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. And if you enjoy podcasts like this one, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss out on any future content. I will see you again in 2 weeks with another regular podcast episode where I'm going to update you on all my works in progress. I have some finished sewing items to share with you, and also a new Christmas Advent cross-stitch project that I wanted to share with you. So until next time, happy crafting, everyone. Bye.